Well, the Sisters of St. Anne are being remembered this month. They started a Victoria school and that classroom still exists today. Bruce Kirkpatrick now with This Week in History.
In a corner of the print shop in Old Town at the Royal BC Museum is a printing press. It was made in France and is at least 250 years old. It was brought to Victoria by Bishop Modeste de Mours and was the first printing press in British Columbia. It was used to print a prospectus announcing the opening of St. Anne's School.
This is the original prospectus, which tells prospective parents what subjects would be taught by the sisters.
The prospectus was printed by Bishop de Mours on December 2, 1858. He used gold ink on blue paper, listing school fees and promising an education in the spirit of devotedness. The teachers, the Sisters of St. Anne, arrived in Victoria in the summer of 1858.
They were really struggling with food, with the necessities of life, yet there's this sumptuous document that talks about this school that they're opening, and it talks about the different subjects that they're going to teach, including music and art, painting.
The school opened June 7, 1858, teaching catechism classes until November 15th, when an addition to the building provided space for regular classes.
The sisters were incredibly influential in the province of British Columbia. Shortly after they arrived, they also got involved in nursing. And so they were a big part of the community. They were educators and healthcare providers.
The St. Anne's Schoolhouse still stands, moved on to the Royal BC Museum property in the 1970s. It was originally built as a Hudson's Bay Company cabin, later owned by Leon Morel. It is one of the oldest buildings in Western Canada.
So we have the school that opened in 1858. We have the document that advertises that, and we have the printing press that the document was printed on, and I think that's a fairly unique circumstance.
Today, 155 years after it opened, the walls here still educate students who learn about Victoria, which in 1858 was
a backwater of the Dominion. There was nothing here, but the gold miners were starting to come in. Maybe there was dreams of gold.
As for the de Mours press, it was used to print St. Anne's School material. But more than that, it printed the first British colonist newspaper, as well as the first French newspaper in British Columbia. Some call the press the Iron Pulpit. St. Anne's Academy still stands in Victoria, now being used by the Ministry of Advanced Education. The chapel and several original rooms of St. Anne's are designated a national, provincial, and municipal historic site.
This Week in History, brought to you by the Royal BC Museum, bringing British Columbia's stories together.